from our side regarding the EIC Access Plus. Gisela, do you want to start, please?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Gisela Santos. I work at the European Innovation Council at the Business Acceleration Services. So the team where I work, we really put a lot of effort to provide all kinds of services and all kinds of opportunities to our EIC innovators that are being funded by the EIC. And this session today, a very important session that we have put in place already from the end of last year with partners that are EIC partners that are motivated to help us in the EIC to provide all their knowledge, excellent service to the EIC portfolio in order to help you develop your business models, achieve new international markets. And so this educational session today, thanks to Jeanette Carlson and her team in the Tech Advocates, they have so proposed to help you navigate through the possibilities of the UK market, which, as everyone knows, has been a bit dormant among our European companies due to the Brexit some years ago. So we thought that maybe this educational session would be really useful to help you, those who have interest in this market, to understand what is the state of play at this point, and also how to better tackle the new, let's say, issues and how to best enter into the market. So a big thanks to Jeanette and her team for teaming up with the European Innovation Council in this endeavor, and for such a nice collaboration throughout all the organizing session, and to Paul and the Access Plus team for putting in place these educational sessions. We had one in November for fundraising. We had one in December about how to go from lab to market for the young ideas, innovations. We have this one on the UK, and throughout the year we will propose other topics and different educational sessions. So be attentive to our social media, to our EIC community. There are other EIC partners, experts in other fields, ready to help you navigate through different areas and needs that you might have. Last but not least, thanks to our EIC beneficiaries present here today for trusting the EIC with these sessions that we have for you, and I hope it will be really useful. So I will not take more of your time. So the floor back to you, Paul and Jeanette, and I'm really willing and looking forward to hear about all this exciting news about the UK market.
Thank you so much, Gisela, and I'm joining you in thanking Jeanette and Chris for this very interesting session. The objective is, as you know, to allow you discover some of the, let's say, support that you can receive from Tech Nordic Advocates, and through the EIC Access Plus project. As you know, 50% of the costs of these services are covered by EIC Access Plus. So once again, thank you, Jeanette and Chris. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you to you, Gisela, and to you, Paul, for all the organisation and collaboration with us up until this point. So really excited to join you all. And once again, if you have a chance to go on camera, it would be so much nicer, because we are going to be a little bit interactive, and it's just so much nicer if we can talk to a person rather than a screen, because we will ask you to introduce yourself in just 1 second. So let me share my screen, if I may. I'm now able to do that, and then we'll do a little bit of introductions here. So hopefully can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you can. That's fantastic. Okay, so good morning for me. So UK Market Access, the session is all about how to land, expand and raise capital in the UK. So My name is Jeanette Carlson. I'm the founder and CEO of Tech Nordic Advocates, and I'm the head of Europe for Global Tech Advocates. And I'm joined here by Chris from London Stock Exchange. So perhaps, Chris, you just want to say hi real quick?
Yeah, thanks, Jeanette. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Chris McGann. So like Jeanette said, I work for the London Stock Exchange, where I lead our Western Europe and Nordics business. Our job really is to meet with companies, meet with their advisors, so their bankers, their lawyers, their accountants, and explore with them how London's markets can help them with raising capital, with accessing a global investor base, and raising a company's profile internationally. Historically, that's been for public companies, thinking about IPOs, but increasingly so, we do more and more work with startups, scale-ups, and any company from private Series A all the way through to IPO. Thank you.
Fantastic. Massive opportunity that I think a lot of people are not aware of. And then we also, Paul's not going to be with us today, but I want to introduce you to Paul Webber, at least by picture and name. So Paul leads our EU affairs business, and certainly is very well known to you, Paul S. So just a few faces and names to be aware of. So Paul is on the ground in Brussels for anybody who's based there, but any of us can answer questions from anywhere in Europe. So today's agenda, so very warm welcome to you. So I'm going to turn to you in just 1 second, but just to share with you what we're going to do today. So introduce Tech Nordic Advocates and Global Tech Advocates at London Stock Exchange. So we just heard a brief hello from us. Then why the UK, and give you an overview of the UK market. As Paul and Gisela both were alluding to, perhaps there are a lot of misperceptions around the UK, particularly after Brexit, and a lot of people are saying to us, oh, we'd like to go to the UK, but we think it's no go. So and that is absolutely not the case. So that's part of what we want to share with you today, is that the UK is a very exciting market and most definitely not no go despite Brexit. Chris is going to talk to you a little bit about raising capital in the UK. Then we'll share a bit about our BAS UK Market Access Programme, have a questions open forum with yourselves, and then talk to you about next steps and how to join. Now, before we do that, so conscious that we've got quite a number of people on the call, but we really want to know who you are. So if we can go around the table, please. So we got 30 people, 28 possibly without speakers and organisers. So can we please go around, please, and say, hello, my name is, this is my business, I'm in deep tech, fintech, whatever it might be, decided or undecided. So this is about, I have decided to go to the UK, or I'm undecided. We want to know where you are at. So can you all please start? I don't mind who starts, but anyone, just dive in, please. So conscious of time, be real quick. Name, business, country, decided, undecided.
I can start. Hi,
Yeah.
My name is Verena. I'm based in Berlin, Germany, working in biotech, so stem cell gene therapy, and undecided.
Okay, great.
Hello, my name is Andrei. I'm based in Romania. I have a startup called Unleashed Engineering. Decided to go in UK. I already have some potential customers there. In the field of deep tech, helping basically the mobility stakeholders to develop smart tires, which are tires with sensors.
Okay, decided, undecided?
Decided, as I said, I had some meetings with we did some workshop together on their side at the customer side in UK, but it's a bit difficult in this period because of various reasons.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, hello. I'm Maria Tiirola. I'm presenting BioBsense, and there's another person from BioBsense also here. We have applied for Global Entrepreneur Programme, and we have a deal maker already from UK, so we are trying to make a decision.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, who's next?
Calvary, also from BioBsense.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Katrina. I'm from CSF Dynamics in Denmark. We're a medtech company. We're developing a neurosurgical device, and we are undecided.
Okay. Next.
Hey, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. My name is Halime Ustayoğun. I am focusing on digital transformation and green transformation, and I am interested in UK market. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello. So, good morning, everybody. I'm Raúl Izquierdo, based in Madrid. I'm working in a company in Interlead Healthcare. We help in market access in the healthcare area, and also manage investors and investment rounds. And I also work as a coach in the ACE instrument. So I am here basically to try to learn from you. We actually have one project now in the UK trying to raise capital.
Okay, lovely.
Good morning, I'm Claire Griffin. I'm the EIC's national contact point for Horizon Europe within the UK. I am being told on a daily basis that UK companies cannot raise capital in the UK, so I am here to learn and hopefully share your advice within the UK as well. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, you're so welcome. Thank you. Okay, who's next?
Hello, my name is Ina Piperaki. I'm based in Paris, and I have been working as a mentor for the EIC Scaling Club. And I'm interested about the UK today's actions, and I'm here to help and to motivate companies to extend activities. Pharmacists in Basing, working in research.
Okay, lovely. Who's next?
Ναι, γεια σας.
Go for it. More?
Yeah, maybe I go. So I'm Arash. We are a deep tech startup working in quantum in Delft, and undecided for now.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, just jump in.
All right. My name is Miguel. I'm representing BioStrike, which is a biotech based in Portugal, and we are undecided for now.
Okay.
Hi, maybe I can be next. So I'm Kaya from Checkpoint Care. We are MedTech and we are in remote patient monitoring. So we have our own wearables, software, and 24/7 virtual ward. And we are very much decided to enter UK.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay. Others?
Hi.
Yep.
I'm Kiira Siihalainen and I'm a CEO of Tuntu. We build an invisible AV system to spaces. So we create multisensory spaces for relaxation and things like that. So we make walls play sound and materials and furniture play sound to relax people.
Okay, great. Who's next? Just jump in.
I can try. Hi, everybody. My name is Maya Ash. I'm a company director in Playbox Technology, which is a UK-based company. Just like Clara, I'm here to learn more about the process.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Fantastic. Lovely. Who's next? It seems like there's some people who have a kind of unmute microphone. What we can do, because we've spoken to quite a few of you, so what we could do is dive in, and then we have an open forum at the end. So then those of you who've not spoken, perhaps you can say a few words. And of course, what we are very interested to hear at the end is those of you who are undecided, are you at the end of this more decided about the UK? So is that okay with you, Paul and Gisela? And then we'll dive in just in the interest of time. Okay, lovely. So we're going to do that. So going back to our agenda. So just a few words real quick about Nordic Advocates, the organisation that I am the founder and CEO of. So we're Northern Europe's largest tech startup ecosystem, and we're European headquarters of Global Tech Advocates. I'll show you in 1 second. And everything we do is about accelerating tech startup scale-up growth, capital raise, and international expansion. A not-for-profit organization headquartered in Denmark. You can see it here. So pan-Nordic Baltic, so offices and teams on the ground across the Nordics and Baltics, and the European headquarters of Global Tech Advocates, so covering all EU 27 plus neighboring countries and associate countries plus EEA. Global Tech Advocates is our global mothership. So we have 48 tech hubs in 60 countries and over 30,000 tech leaders. So you can imagine it's pretty easy for us to reach everybody around the world very easily. We originate in the UK, so this is very important for this session. So we originate with Tech London Advocates here, the engine behind London's Tech Hub. We have 6 hubs of our own in our UK family called UK Tech Advocates, with hubs right through from London across the England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. So UK is very much our home market. We understand the market very well, and we have helped a high number of tech companies from across the Nordics, Baltics, and Europe land, expand, and raise capital in the UK. We have similar programs for the US and China, India, etc. But today we're focused on the UK. So that's our organization. Our mission is very much to accelerate inclusive startup scale-up growth, international expansion, with a vision to be the leading platform for inclusive tech startup scale-up growth and international expansion. And it's very pointed to show this picture here because Chris is here from London Stock Exchange. We're exceedingly happy. We've been partnering with Chris and the team at London Stock Exchange for a number of years now. And so you can see a very happy bunch of people here during London Tech Week at London Stock Exchange. The way we help grow, scale, raise capital, and expand technology companies is through a whole bunch of different programs. So today we're here to talk about international expansion and specifically the UK. So we have other programs as well that we're very happy to speak to you about. So in terms of our UK market access program, so it's a top-rated program. We've been rolling it out for quite some time. We're actually the official Department for Business and Trade, which is UK government department referral partner into the UK, which we've been selected for. And of course, happy partner London Stock Exchange with our own 6 hubs in the UK, as I said, and with a program which really gives you everything you need to land, expand, and raise capital in the UK. So let's have a quick look at why the UK, and really hopefully to highlight the opportunity that the UK market holds, and also, as I said, dispel the myths around Brexit, which is very important. So, so just looking at some top line, themes here or numbers. So from an overall market perspective, so the UK is the 6th largest economy in the world and one of the most connected global economies. So in terms of supply chain and global capital flow. So Chris is going to talk more about that. In terms of access to capital, 3rd globally for VC investments. In the first quarter, 3 quarters of 25, over 17 billion pounds was raised in the UK, which compares to France, Germany, where the number is around 9 billion pounds each. London Stock Exchange, absolutely Europe's largest capital market, which Chris will talk about. Unicorn factory, over 200 unicorns, which is more than Germany, France, and Spain combined. London is absolutely Europe's top VC destination, 42 unicorns, 19,000 startups, and a global leader in fintech, AI, deep tech, cyber, and a whole bunch of other areas. And looking at the business environment, the UK economy is highly digitalized and actually one of the simplest in the world to start a business, with the regulatory, financial, legal systems designed to support businesses. I personally have a business in the UK, and it's very easy and quick to set up. The 6 top 6 country globally for talent and actually a very fast visa processing. And yes, you do now need a visa for UK market entry, but there are a whole bunch of different schemes in the UK now that can help fast track visas for people like yourself who are setting up tech businesses in the UK. And in terms of the UK and EU, you may or may not know that the EU and UK actually have a free trade agreement, which has been signed after the implementation of Brexit. So after the expiry of the transition period. and that is actually making it even easier for you to do business in the UK, which is, as we said, Europe's biggest tech hub. So if you look at some of the sectors in the UK, so the tech economy, if you like, really is all encompassing, covering a whole bunch of sectors. So deep tech being very important to the EIC and a very strong priority sector for the EU and EIC, world-class London and across the region, AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, robotics, cloud computing, data analytics, fintech. You know, the City of London is the fintech capital, and IoT, big data, and clean tech, and a whole bunch of others. But these are some of the kind of perhaps dominant sectors with applications right across industries, health and biotech, enterprise applications, gaming, edtech, etc. So it really doesn't matter what sector you're in. You know, the UK really is a global leader in all of these areas. And what's also really important to understand, I'm not expecting you to read all of this, but just to really give you a sense, because when we talk about the UK, we often talk about London. And London, of course, is incredibly important. So you can see London here at the bottom. So ranked 3rd best startup ecosystem globally. All sectors represented, as I said before. But equally, there are a whole bunch of other places in the UK that have very, very live, dynamic tech hubs. So the West Midlands, AI, cyber, fintech, digital sectors. So West Midlands being, Birmingham, Warwick, Coventry, around that area, Manchester. And Chris can talk about that, coming from Manchester. It's like hugely important tech space, EdTech in Leeds and in Belfast, Northern Ireland, cybersecurity in Liverpool, in Bristol, deep tech innovation hub, and so on. So although London is incredibly important in the tech space, it's really important to understand that it's not all about London. There are huge opportunities and clusters in different parts of the UK that have that tend to have different focus areas. So the Oxford-Cambridge corridor around life sciences and so on. So that's really important to know. And this is obviously something that we can dive into on the programme when you join. So with that, let me just hand over to Chris to say something about raising capital in the UK.
Yeah, thanks, Jeanette. And to your point about the UK not just being London, absolutely right. I am from Manchester, and it's currently Europe's fastest growing city. And anecdotally, when I left home 12 years ago, there was one skyscraper. I think when I went back at Christmas, there are now over 40. So it's really good to see that kind of progress. But yeah, just to build on some of Jeanette's points, like the UK makes so much sense for a lot of European companies. There is, that's not just for raising capital, but for expansion as well. There's currently, £6 trillion worth of long-term capital held by pension funds, insurance assets, and retail investors as well. On the LSE, to Jeanette's point, is the largest exchange in Europe. There's been £63 billion raised over the last 3 years. That's the companies at IPO. It's companies coming back to market after they've IPO'd to continue accessing that capital to fuel their growth, to give their investors liquidity. And the thing I'm really keen to point out here is, I think when we think about IPOs, we often think about, billion, £1 billion, £5 billion, £10 billion companies, but we see so much activity in the small and mid cap space. Last year, for example, we had one company on AIM that raised £2 million at a £10 million valuation. We had a Finnish company, in fact, called Syndrago. It raised £1.5 million at a £40 million valuation. Like London really is a market for companies at the smaller end of the scale and also the bigger end. And you might have seen some press recently on the large cap end. Visma, the Norwegian accounting software company. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of press speculation about the Visma having chosen London for its IPO destination. And I'll come back onto this, but their reasons are well cited, and it's largely about a lot of the regulatory changes that have happened post Brexit. Third, £63 billion. This number is actually the same. I was a bit surprised, to be honest, but that's the yearly foreign direct investment into the UK. That's the second in the world after the US, ahead of India, ahead of China, ahead of any European country. And it really shows how much foreign investors, international investors are really looking at not just UK companies, but companies from Europe, from APAC, from the Americas that have a presence in the UK and are doing business here. I think we've seen a lot of positive movements from the government over the past 18 months since they were elected. We now have a fairly world-leading industrial strategy. I've pulled out here that the government's aim is for £30 billion a year into clean energy investment. I pulled out clean energy because I thought it might be interest to a lot of the people on this call, but we have similar numbers for fintech, for AI, for deep tech. And that's something that really the government are really backing us, backing the wider industry, backing financial services on as well. Building on some of the points Jeanette mentioned, we currently have 55 unicorns in the UK. That's the third most in the world after the US and China. It's the most in Europe, with Germany second. I think I saw a stat on the page. I often say we've got 2 of the top 5 universities in the world. It's 4 of the top 10. And it does make the UK a great talent destination. It also makes it a great startup hub, and that's why we've had over 5,500 spin-outs from universities over the past few years. And then moving on to the LSE, and I think focusing a bit more on some of the misconceptions around is the UK a viable market anymore post Brexit? Well, our market is the most international of any globally. Currently 35% of our companies that are listed on the London Stock Exchange are non-UK. But when we delve a bit deeper into that and we think about the makeup of what all of those businesses on our market actually do and where they derive their revenue from, there are like huge UK companies or UK European companies, take your AstraZenecas, your Barclays, your HSBCs, your Rolls-Royce, for example. And when we actually look at where they do their business, only 1/4 of it's in the UK. It really is a market, a country where we have companies with pan-European global presences using London as a base to raise capital, to access world-leading investors, to tap into the talent that we have here, but then they go and make their money from elsewhere. And I'll park that last point briefly, but I just wanted to about our private securities market. But I just wanted to highlight, Jeanette mentioned there are some misconceptions. I often find this when I'm in and around Europe, that there's a perception that the UK is difficult. It's more difficult to access post Brexit. That perhaps as a European country, a European company now that now the UK is outside the EU, it might not be the easiest route, or it might not be possible at all. I think it's totally not true. For the past few months, we've had some leading European companies access our markets. We had Metlin transfer its primary listing from Athens to the LSE. We had Prince's Group, an Italian-owned food and beverages company, IPO in London. And we had Magnum Ice Cream Company, which is Netherlands-based, part of its spin-off from Unilever, it listed in London as well. And I think what I'm keen to focus on as well is how much the government and the wider financial services ecosystem is doing to ensure that the UK and London's markets are, one, still an option for companies from around the world, and two, a place where companies from all those countries can access capital quickly, flexibly, and hopefully at a lower cost than can be done on the continent. So over the past few years, the UK has gone on a journey after leaving the EU and after signing the agreement post-transition period that Jeanette mentioned, to totally reform its capital market rules and regulations and ensure that London is competitive against Europe and against the wider global economy. And to pull out a couple of those points, our listing rules have been totally rewritten. I think for a lot of the companies on here, and as they aspire to have future funding rounds, the dual class share structures are a frequent consideration. Giving founders the ability to have absolute control or majority control over a company, despite having external investors. In the past and across Europe, that's often been difficult to implement once a company grows and becomes public or looks to become public. And on the back of that, we've seen European companies flocking to the US. So we've totally rewritten the rules. Dual class share structures are now permissible with a couple of caveats on the London's markets. And second point, to the £6 trillion, so much of that is locked up in long-term assets, in safer assets. What the LSE and an industry body called the Capital Markets Industry Task Force and wider city, so from banks to accountants to law firms to companies themselves to pension funds and asset managers, the whole industry is coming together to try and unlock some of that £6 trillion of capital and divert it into the startups and scale-up companies. You might have seen in the press some things around the Mansion House Compact. The whole purpose of that is to take the 20 biggest pension funds in the UK. So we're talking our Legal and Generals, Avivas, M&G, Schroders, those household names, and divert some of the capital that they hold from UK pensioners, from company pension schemes, and push that into startups and scale-ups. So we had an announcement last spring, summertime, that there was going to be an extra, this is agreed with the government, an extra £50 billion worth of capital that pension funds are going to try and allocate to smaller companies, private companies in the UK. And that's not just British based, it's those companies that are expanding into the UK. It's available for anyone on this call. And then finally, to the bottom right box on this slide as well, the LSE has launched its private securities market. It's the world's first regulated crossover market, and it's in place for those private companies that are maybe not ready to go public and IPO. Perhaps they don't want to IPO for whatever reason. They might be cash flow positive. They might not need capital, but they want to provide their founders, their C-suite, their employees, their existing VC private equity investors with liquidity. I often go and speak to these people and say, CEOs have lives too. They are human. They might have a house to pay for, school fees, a wedding, whatever it is, and therefore want liquidity. And this market offers exactly that. It uses the London Stock Exchange, is existing technology infrastructure. It's exactly the same as a public company in accessing, in utilizing that. But crucially, a private company can almost go quasi-public for a day. It can, give the ability for those existing investors and C-suite founders to sell some of their shares to new investors or other existing investors, and give them the liquidity that they require for whatever reason. So I'm rushing a little bit because I know we're tight on time, but very happy to answer any questions at the end. I think there's a little slot for that, or alternatively, please feel free to add me on LinkedIn and we can take it from there. Yeah, thank you, and back over to you, Jeanette.
Thank you so much, Corey. Thank you. And I'm just going to add a point to what Chris said, because I've heard this brilliant pitch so many times, but I think one of the points as well to add is what you often emphasize, Chris, which is actually to list in London, you do not have to move your HQ out of your whatever country you're in, correct, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. We have companies that are registered, headquartered, do all their business in Europe and raise capital in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably something that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think that you need to move your headquarters to the UK, which I think you need to do in the US, correct, if you're listing there. But that's a different story. But you don't need to do that. So that's really important for you to understand as well. Okay, so we'll take some questions after, but just diving in here. So I don't know what's happening here. It looks like something is happening with my internet here, which is not showing my slides. It might be okay, here we go. Might just be slow internet for a couple of minutes, so bear with me on that. Right, so just looking at, so hopefully now you have a sense of the real opportunity, both in terms of, London and expanding in the UK, but also in terms of raising capital. So we have a dedicated UK market access programme, as I mentioned, right from the beginning. So it is a 3 months programme, which leverages everything we know about the UK, which is a lot, and our 6 UK hubs, and everything Chris has said about London Stock Exchange and other things that we could do to support you around capital raise. So let me just walk through that real quick. So what we help you do over a 3 months period, and that has actually been deliberately set as 3 months, as proven as 3 months, because that's the amount of time it takes to really get you to a point where I was about to say you can stand alone. So what the 3 months program delivers is market insight and entry. So really diving a bit deeper into some of what you've just heard in terms of the UK market and the hubs, and which entry point is right for your business, depending on your sector focus, or your clients, or there might be specific reasons you want to be in one part of the UK and not in another, and so on. So we will help you select your right entry point. And also in terms of setup support, should you start by having a physical presence in the UK? Could you export in? What would be the right route in for you, depending on your business and your objectives, etc. Helping you register your business in the UK, setting up bank accounts, guidance on HR, tax, legal, etc. So that is really important. So we've done it so many times before. So you will save a lot of time and money if you let us help you, because we know how this is done. And of course, we have a massive UK network. So Tech London Advocates alone, so this is London, has over 13,000 people, and so you add all the other hubs across the UK. So we are talking very many thousands of people in the tech community, whether that be startups, investors, partners, startup communities, and you name it. We have hubs in 6 different places, and access to all of these people. And also, of course, in terms of your own network, and by which I mean, if you're a fintech business, you would like to tap into the fintech space. If you're a pop tech business, you would like to tap into that space, etc. So we actually run targeted missions. We ran a prop tech mission into the UK a few months ago. So this is the overall network, but also we can help you tap into your space. Raising capital. So Chris has already talked quite a bit about the opportunities there. So I'll come back to that in 1 second. But also in terms of the promotion of your business, tailored to your objectives and your market and your target audience in the UK. We know exactly where to go. We have our hubs in the UK, etc. So we can help you with that. And events and media. So all of our hubs across the UK have their own events. London Tech Week, that you may be aware of, is in our family. So Tech London Advocates is one of the founding fathers or mothers of London Tech Week, which is Europe's biggest tech festival that takes place in June every year. So the picture you saw before and behind you at London Stock Exchange is when we take a delegation of tech startups to London to pitch live on stage at London Stock Exchange. And we have so many other events across London Tech Week that we can plug you into. And if this year will be the same as previous years, then by virtue of our family, being behind London Tech Week, we tend to get VIP passes, free VIP passes for all the tech startups that we bring to London Tech Week. So this is what's included in our package, if you like. And this is really all you need to land, expand, and raise capital. So we track the success. We speak to you at the beginning about your KPIs. What are you looking to achieve? It's very important to have a sound starting point. So what are you trying to achieve by when? So we will track that, give you regular updates, obviously working closely with you, ask you for feedback as we go, and carry out a final review to ensure that that your money is well spent. And to Paul's point, since the EIC funds up to 50% of this, obviously we will deliver to the EIC KPIs and tracking mechanisms to ensure that that money is spent in accordance with how it should be spent. So the way it works, it's a 3-month deal, as I said. Typically we spent 20 hours a month on that. So over a 3-month period, that means you get 60 hours worth of support. And I don't actually want to call it advice because we're very hands-on. Advice gives the wrong impression. So we're actually very hands-on with everything I've just shared with you. And typically, as we also have on the EIC BAS webpage, you can find us on there. So typically our fee is an average of 175 an hour. The reason I say average is that we actually offer a discount for groups of companies, and I very much recommend that we do that. So if at the end of this call, there are a bunch of you that would like to join this program, I very much recommend that we create a little cohort. It is by far the best way. It means for 5 companies or more, we will reduce the fee by 15% per company. If we can get 10 companies together, we will reduce the fee for all of you, each of you, by 20%. And the reason I recommend that is it's really, really important to not be doing this on your own, to be part of a cohort where you can knowledge share, you can support each other, etc. We run so many programs, as Chris also knows, with cohorts from in different areas, and there is so much to be had by being part of a cohort with other companies, whatever country you are from in the EU. Is really important. So there might be a couple of deep techs you can bounce off each other, you can share. There might be a couple of health med techs, as we heard, etc., etc., etc. So if we can get a cohort together of minimum 5, ideally 10 companies from this session, then we will create a program for you all, which delivers all of this, but in a really smart way for a cohort. So we can take a cohort to the UK, we can have an event for a cohort, and so on and so forth. We can really create a lot of 2 and 2 equals 5 effects for all of you. So that's the deal. We have our own TNA Invest arm going back on the capital raise. This is actually Ayuna, who's I believe is Chris's boss, who's our kind of partner responsible at London Stock Exchange. We have TNA Invest, with over 65 investors in our own fundraising hub, which obviously plays into everything that Chris was saying as well. The actual program delivery is what I've just explained to you. Market insight, expert-led sessions, and if we are your cohort, this is really, really very powerful and dynamic. Business setup, local networks, we will introduce you one-on-one mentoring, events, promotion, direct introductions, and the capital raise support. So that's the actual program, and the fees are what I just said. And then, of course, at the end of the 3-month program, if you need follow-on support, we're absolutely there to help provide that as well. And we can agree, how much support you need, and time and cost and all the rest of it. So that's the fee level. As I said, 5 companies or more, we will reduce each company's fee by 15%, 10 companies or more by 20%, because there really are synergies from being a cohort here, which is why we're giving you average prices. And in terms of the number of hours per per week, per month, the 20 hours per month is really what you need to get started and to really turbocharge your entry, because otherwise it drags out too long and you've got to strike while the iron is hot and so on and so forth. So that's that. We've helped a huge number of companies enter, land, expand, raise capital in the UK. Very important to us that we are showing you a picture that's inclusive. So we're very focused on gender and any other form of equality, and helping founders of any gender, ethnicity, background, orientation. It's very important to us. So sooner help raise capital, and actually we nailed it at London Stock Exchange after we had begun the process, and he ended up inviting the investors to the London Stock Exchange pitch events a couple of years ago. Chris, I think it was before your time, and we'd worked with Suna for a very long time, and he ended up pitching and inviting the investors to the pitch event and closed the deal then. So Susan, land and expand story, and he both that as well as capital raise, and Adam, we help land for paying customers. Actually, as he puts it, within an hour of our pitch, and that was also London Stock Exchange, Chris. That was incredible. So we helped a lot of companies, so we know what we are doing, and we are so happy to help you as well. So so on that, let's chat, and then I will, just before we close, I will give you the link to what's next. So let me just stop there for 1 minute. So we have 10 minutes to go, and hopefully you are now excited. I'm gonna ask you in a minute if those of you who are undecided are now more decided. Hopefully not less decided, but let me open up the floor for questions or comments.
Thank you, Jeanette, so much. And Chris, we have a first question regarding the cost of the services. Mm-hmm. These are before the let's say the support from the EIC Access Plus.
Right. So that means exactly. Thank you for asking that question. So that's the total fee, and for you who are EIC grant beneficiaries, you will get half of that covered, correct? By the EIC. So that means for yourselves, it's half of 10,500 euros. So 5.25 is what you would have to pay. Yeah. Okay. And by the way, we're very happy to enter into quarterly payments, monthly subscription, whatever. We're used to all of this. We're working with startups and scale-ups. We understand that you have cash flow is critical to you. So we're very happy to spread payments and so on. But obviously have to cover our costs. But yes, so half of that from the IC and half of that from yourselves, potentially spread over a few months.
Thank you. Marja, I don't know if you have other questions. This one was from Marja. So if any other participants have additional questions, please. And maybe you can also share in the chat the contact information for you and Chris as well. This way.
I'm going to share that at the end, so you can see that, and so you have emails, etc. But for now, I think, and please just talk, everybody. Just shout out if you have a question or a comment, or this is exciting, or I'm now decided, or we want to know what you're thinking. Yeah, how to make a cohort exactly. So so what happens? So thank you for asking that question. So what I'm going to do at the end of this session, and hopefully you, Paul, will share all of this with you as well. So in the deck, which I will also share, next steps and how to join. So if you can register your interest here, please. Yeah. So if you click on this, that will take you through to a registration page, which says expression of interest to join the program. Oops. So we haven't opened it up just yet, but we will open it up as soon as this call is over. So you can click on that and literally say, yes, I'm interested in this program. I'd like to talk to you. And the quicker you can express your interest, the quicker we will know if we have minimum 5 companies. So we will then talk to you and say, look, and I've actually put a deadline in the deck so that you can see. So we will start the cohort, assuming we get minimum 5 companies on the 16th of February. So to take advantage of the 15% discount, if we have 5 companies, please can you ensure that you register no later than the 2nd of February. The same for the 10 companies. So really it's the same link, but we can then keep you posted between now and the 2nd of February as to the number we have. So as soon as we have 5, we can say, right, we now have a cohort of 5 companies that are interested, or we now have 7 or 8, or we have 10. So as soon as you register on here, you will enter into a dialogue with us, and we will keep you posted. We'll discuss your needs with you, and we'll keep you posted. And as soon as we hopefully have minimum 5 companies, we can say, right, this now means everybody gets a 15% discount. Yeah, does that make sense? So it's in everyone's interest to get in touch as soon as you can, so we can get to a minimum 15 companies as soon as you can. Does that answer your question? Okay. Was that a yes? Did that answer the question? So I'll cover that just one more time before we go, but let's just make sure that we have time for a few more questions. And I want to know, some of you who are undecided, are you now more excited, more decided than you were at the beginning? Can you shout out, please? We want to know what you're thinking. If you're still with us.
Angela, maybe you also want to share your question live. It is in the chat and we will share it. But if you want to, Angela.
Please do. Please do.
Yes, in the chat. Yes. Sorry, my camera has problems today, so I haven't put it on. So because I support a number of businesses in internationalization plans, and some of them are looking to come in the UK, I just want to understand the time commitment in terms of companies participating on your program, so that they can combine that with their day-to-day work. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. So, so time commitment is a relative thing, and I want to answer this in a way that I always answer this. I get asked this question many times a year, including last week in Norway. Here's the thing. The time you're spending on this is not new time. It is time that you would be spending anyway on researching the UK market, finding people, blah, 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 blah. So it's not what you put in, it's what you get out. And I can assure you that by joining this program, you will get so much more out in terms of, you know, landing, expanding, raising capital in the UK than you would if you sat at home on your own, right? So, so that's one side of the answer. That's really important to say that we're focused on the output. But also you can really spend the amount of time that you want to put into it. What we are saying to you is we will give you 20 hours a month from our side. And then obviously, when we throw the ball out and said, let us introduce you to X, Y, and Z in this geography, or give you a sense of which is the right cluster or location or whatever it might be, obviously you would need to engage with that if you want to enter and expand in the UK, right? So, but there's no minimum requirement. But let me just repeat what I just said. It's really important to understand that this is about what comes out at the other end, and that we can actually really deliver 2 and 2 equal 5 effects, you know, which is so much more than you could do on your own. Yeah. Any more questions? Any more comments? Maybe you make an assessment at the end of the program. Absolutely. Absolutely. And at the beginning, we will agree KPIs with you to say, what is it you're looking to achieve? Is a similar program for Ireland? Well, you know, there's no reason why we could, you know, we have a hub in Ireland, right? There's no reason why we couldn't be in Ireland. If there's a specific reason for you want to go to Ireland, for sure. Absolutely. We had, like I said, we have a hub in Ireland. I know exactly where to go in Ireland. So absolutely possible.
There was a question before maybe that I can answer. For the non-EIC beneficiaries, of course, they are welcome to join. Unfortunately, EIC Access Plus can only cover the costs of EIC beneficiaries.
Yeah, it's absolutely. So we've got a couple of minutes to go. Thank you for your presentation. You're so welcome. Very happy to share it if Chris is happy to share his slide. Very happy to share it.
Of course.
Fantastic. And also, of course, the link to the expression of interest. It's in the deck, but we'll send it out separately as well. And so if I can just reiterate, if you can register your interest ASAP, please. Hopefully we will get to 5 companies very quickly, and then we can communicate with you very quickly to say, right, here are the 5. So that means the price is now 15% less for everybody, right? Or 20% less if we have 10 or more. So that's really important. So we'll share all of that. Hopefully you will share all of that. Is that right, Paul, with everybody?
Yes, absolutely. And if you agree, Jeanette and Chris, we will also prepare the recording and make it available on the EIC YouTube channel. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay, wonderful. So any other questions? So I really want to know, for one of the undecideds in the last minute we have, can you shout out, please? I'm now more decided, or I'm still undecided, or what are you thinking? Any of you? Either of you? Shout out, please. Very shy people.
I think that this sounds very exciting to get a consultation in this very good price. And maybe networks. I was just thinking that would be very nice to have like many companies from the same country that we could like discuss.
That too, that's powerful. But I can assure you that the synergies that we create of my cohort is like a little family all going to the same country. So thank you so much for saying that, Marja, and I might see you in Finland, right? So obviously we are team and boots on the ground in Finland. So hopefully we'll see you soon. So just final words from me. So I don't think I'm sharing, so I'll just do it like super quick so you can see some details here about who we are and how to contact us. So once again, on this slide, there is a link to express your interest. So please do that at your earliest opportunity so we can engage with you. And I've already said about the minimum 5 companies or 10 companies. There is also on the very last slide, there is our contact details here. So you will get the slide deck. So my email is here. Chris's email is here. And Paul Weber's email is here. And of course, please connect with us on LinkedIn. I haven't put that in because you all know how to find us on LinkedIn. So here are our contact details. They're on the last slide of the deck. And with that, I think we're up against time. And I just want to thank you, Paul, and Gisela. And hi, Antonella, you're here. I want to thank you, Paul, and Gisela, and everybody at the EIC for the opportunity, and to Chris for joining me, and to all of you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. Chris, is it okay if I copy your email addresses in the chat? And may I also ask you to put the link to the registration form in the chat as well? This way it will be even faster. So
absolutely, absolutely. I will. Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Thank you so much.
So we'll send you the deck, and it's all in there, and we'll send you the link separately as well outside of the deck. Okay.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much once again for the great presentation, and I will give the floor for the final words to Gisela.
Yeah.
Yes, from my side as well. Thank you very much, Jeanette and Chris, for this very positive overview over the UK market. So you really gave us, I think, the flavor to discover this market to our EIC beneficiaries present here today, and also to the others that eventually did not manage. Maybe, Paul, you can also share with them the deck, and they have the opportunity, those that registered and unfortunately for different reasons didn't manage, maybe they are still interested. So thanks a lot for bringing us the UK positive scenarios, and I hope our beneficiaries will manage to profit from your very professional hands-on service. We from the EIC, we are very happy to co-fund this program and help the beneficiaries navigate this market new or not so new for them, but maybe for most of them might be a new adventure. So we are counting on you, tech advocates, and we keep in touch to see how this has impacted our portfolio. So looking forward to keep the contacts and the follow-up.
Thank you so much to all of you, and we'll stay in touch. We'll get it all across to you in a minute, Paul and Gisela. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and lovely to meet all of you. And like I said earlier, just feel free to reach out, email, LinkedIn, whatever it is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Hopefully see you soon. And we will look out for your registrations and get in touch. So we have to just discuss that, Paul and Gisela, how we get in touch. Obviously, we're going to get some emails because they will contact us, right? So hopefully from a GDPR perspective that it's okay, but I can ask you offline about that. So, okay, wonderful. Thank you so much to all of you.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day, everyone. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.